Does that look like a Super Bowl team now that they have that offense back together the way they want? Are the Saints a Super Bowl team?
They are a Super Bowl team. Now, does that mean they finish the deal and get there? They still have some tough games to play starting this week with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And when you can play defense like that, where your leading sack rusher, Trey Hendrickson, is not playing, and you can still put pressure on Mitchell Trubisky. You play great on the back end. You stop the run, in which the Chicago Bears have been doing better toward the end of the season. That's the type of defense that gets you to the Super Bowl. That's the type of defense that wins playoff games. And then you look offensively, obviously having Alvin Kamara back on the field, having Michael Thomas on the field, Drew Brees being surgical in the underneath passing game, also hitting a couple of passes deeper down the field than Michael Thomas. You start to kind of feel good about where this team is. And so going into this week against a team you've already beaten twice, you have to think that if you're Sean Payton, if you're Drew Brees, you are telling your locker room you have exactly what it takes to make it to the Super Bowl, but you have to continue doing what you do best, which is play great defense, protect the ball offensively, and then get Alvin Kamara in space and give him opportunities to make big plays.
All right, so we will have all week to talk about the Saints. Dan, let's talk about the Bears, whose season came to an end yesterday. What is the first thing we say about them this morning?
Time to move on. It's time to move on from Matt Nagy and Mitchell Trubisky, because yesterday was kind of the same thing that we've seen for 3 years. Championship-level defense. Defense that consistently shows up and good enough, and the offense just doesn't get it done. The fourth down that Mitchell Trubisky does not sell out for. I have no idea how he doesn't try and dive to go get that. The offensive line lacking in protection, not having a great plan versus the pass rush for New Orleans. Greedy, Hembo sent me some really interesting numbers, okay, with Matt Nagy. In the 3 years of him as their head coach, he's coached 50 games. They've scored 1 touchdown or less 18 times. That's bad. That's more than a third of the time they've scored a touchdown or less. The Jets, the Jags, and the Bengals are the only teams that have done it more. So yesterday was the final straw. Chicago, you got into the playoffs and made it a conversation, but you answered it yesterday. It's time to move on.
Rex?
Yeah, when I look at it, I think what they're going to do is move on from Mitchell Trubisky. But I'm with Dan. Look, I've never been a big fan of this Nagy guy. And quite honestly, it's because of the way he handled the Trubisky thing. He put everything on him. I mean, he's the guy they blame everything on. Well, why don't you look at yourself first, man? I mean, dude, you scored 3 points in this game. I mean, I know it's 9, but no, it was 3 points.
Right.
And quite honestly, you're an offensive guru. That's why you came here. And those stats that Himbo just put up and Dan talked about, that's not acceptable. And hey, you've gone to the playoffs. 2 out of the last 3 years. Congratulations. That's because the NFC is a hell of a lot weaker than the AFC. But when I look at this, your guy at Northwestern, Chicago kid, that fits better because this guy that plays in Chicago. This guy, I mean, I don't like him. I don't like the way he doesn't take every damn bullet for him. That's your job as a head coach. You don't make your quarterback take every bullet. You take the dang bullets, and that's why I don't respect about this guy.
Look, he has been trying to move on from Mitch Trubisky a million different times in a million different ways, and if he stays, he's now going to get his chance to try and coach a third different quarterback. He was brought there to turn Trubisky into a star. Then he brought in Nick Foles, and we saw how that goes. And if he stays, it does seem like they're going to go a different direction. Pat Fitzgerald is the coach of Northwestern you're talking about. We'll see how all of that shakes out. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.